Hi, I'm Sandy, and today we are making chocolate chip cookies. I know, super exciting, right? Well, they're a little bit different than your average chocolate chip cookie. We are doing a couple healthy tweaks in these cookies to just change it so it's a little bit better for you, so you don't have to feel as guilty as eating it. I'm a big kind of purveyor, so to speak, of pushing eating things in moderation. And if you want the chocolate chip cookie, eat the chocolate chip cookie. But in this case, I like to play around with different ingredients too to make them a little bit healthier for you at the end of the day. So you can still eat the chocolate chip cookie, and then you can have a little bit of balance too by getting a little bit of fiber in this cookie, as well as we are using a different type of fat too. So this cookie is a whole wheat chocolate chip cookie. I'm gonna step behind here so we can get started. And with the whole wheat chocolate chip cookie, we are using a couple ingredients: whole wheat flour, dark brown sugar because it has molassesy flavor because of that molasses that's added in there, but I also like the undertones and the notes that it's adding. And then with the granulated sugar, we also have dark chocolate chips in here as well instead of your standard semi-sweet chocolate chips. I'm filming the thing. Hi, I'm Sandy, and welcome to my kitchen. We are making chocolate chip cookies today. Super exciting. I love chocolate chip cookies. I'm obsessed with them, to be honest. If I could have a whole diet of just chocolate chip cookies, that would be my thing. However, we know it's all about balance and moderation, and I am a big pusher for eating the foods that you love, but also I like to make modifications in some of my favorite recipes so you can kind of play along and make them a little bit healthier at the end of the day. So today we're making whole wheat chocolate chip cookies, and I will tell you right now, you will make this one of your favorite recipes. So let's get started, and you're not even gonna know that it is healthier for you, meaning it uses a better fat and it's lower in calories than a traditional cookie, and you get some fiber from that whole wheat flour. So you have whole wheat flour, dark brown sugar, granulated sugar, all the basics of a regular cookie, just the whole wheat flour change. Where we change things up here is your oil. Instead of butter, we're using a canola oil. And then we're also using dark chocolate chips in this recipe as well, instead of your traditional semi-sweet chocolate chips. So again, I use whatever I can find in my pantry these days, so feel free and play around and change it up. Typical mixing of all of your ingredients, so you don't have to cream butter in this, but we're going to combine our sugars with the oil as we typically do. So I have my brown sugar in here. It's just 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar, 3/4 of a cup of granulated sugar, and then I'm gonna add my oil, which I'm using canola oil, but if you have a light olive oil, you can use that as well. Don't use the traditional olive oil because that will actually taste like olives, but if you have a regular light olive oil, you can use that. Any neutral oil is perfectly fine. Then you're going to use some salt. I like to use salt in my baked goods. You'll notice when you make something that it just doesn't, it tastes like it's missing something. It's probably salt. Salt is an integral part of baking. Please don't leave your salt out. You want to add it in, and it's not adding a lot of sodium at the end of the day. You're really just looking for it from a flavor perspective and a chemical balance. So 1/8 of a teaspoon, which is really just a pinch of salt in here, and that's it. And then the other thing I like to add is vanilla. I keep that in my cupboard here because it's my pride and joy, my baby vanilla. So with the vanilla extract, I actually make my own vanilla extract. All it is, vanilla beans, whole vanilla beans, and then vodka. Super easy to make. All you do is you keep adding more and more vodka to it as you use it, and that's it. And you can actually take these vanilla beans out of your whole, like this, and then you can squeeze the seeds out of that, and then you have that vanilla bean paste and the vanilla bean pods that everybody looks at, and beautiful custards and things of that. That's what you get from here. And then, so you don't waste anything either, you use these vanilla bean pods. Once you take all the seeds out of it, I put it in my cupboard with granulated sugar, and that's vanilla sugar. So pretty cool, that way you use it from root to stem, just like we talked about before. I'm just dumping in, I free-eye this. Vanilla, it's not really any nutritional value, and you can't mess it up. I just add literally about a teaspoon of my vanilla extract into here, and it adds a lot of flavor. And with that, all you're gonna do is mix this up just until it's combined. Again, no creaming stage here like you would in a traditional chocolate chip cookie where you're mixing the butter and the sugars together until it's light and fluffy. You actually don't have to do that here. So this is all combined. And then all we're gonna do is add in our whole wheat flour. You can, if you wanna try this out, if you're not really sure about whole wheat flour in general, you can do 50-50. So 50% whole wheat flour, 50% all-purpose flour or AP flour is totally fine. Adding that in here, poof, big dust pile. You're using both baking soda and baking powder as your leavening agents. And then you're adding your egg in here as well. So, with that being said, all you are doing is mixing it together. And you'll notice here, you'll be like, Sandy, why did you add the egg in later? Because I forgot, but the recipe in this particular one is so easy to change, it doesn't matter. And I'm doing that to show you that it's okay if you mess the steps up in this particular recipe and it will turn out fine. Oops, sorry. And my husband actually was pretty funny the other day. He was making brownies and he actually messed up the brownies because he added the butter in and the egg, and then he put the flour and everything into one thing. So what I'm missing though is my milk. Sorry, I'm messing this up. All right, you didn't see that. My makeshift kitchen. Shimmy back. And then because you need a little bit more moisture, you're adding in your milk here. And this is literally a 1/4 cup of skim milk. If you only have 2% in your house, that's fine. It's just gonna add a little bit more fat into your recipe. So, sorry, I'm making my mixture here. And all you're looking for is it to start to combine together. And you can see here, it's starting to come together. And then right when it starts to come together, I'm just gonna dump in my chocolate chips. And this is just 3/4 of a cup of dark chocolate chips. You can add more if you like it or less, depending on how many chocolate chips you want in your recipe. I have made this too without chocolate. If you're not a fan of chocolate, you can actually just do cinnamon and sugar. You can roll it in cinnamon and sugar like a snickerdoodle, similar to that. You could also add different flavorings like almond extract in here instead of vanilla to make this more of like an almondy cookie. That would be good. You can also swap out some of the flour and use a 1/4 cup of oats if you wanted to do that. Sorry, I use my fingers sometimes. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of scrape the bowl with a spatula just to make sure all the ingredients are combined. And you're gonna say, oh, this is kind of a dry dough, but when you bake it, the cookies are actually going to spread a little bit and they're gonna turn out really good. All right, so this looks pretty good. Now, all we're gonna do here is this is a 2-ounce scooper. If you don't have this, you can use just a regular tablespoon and use 2 of those and just form into balls. This dough is really versatile in that, and it's just really pliable, so I like to put it all into balls, and I'll show you, you can actually just roll it out into balls too, and they'll kind of stick together that way. The scoop just makes it more uniform, and you can say, hey, I look like a professional baker now. All right, so all you're gonna do, put it onto your cookie sheet here. You wanna spread it, you wanna make sure they are about 1 inch apart because they are gonna spread some in the oven. You don't want them to run into each other. You could press this into a bar too, so if you're like, I don't have time to scoop all these cookies out, just press it into a 9x13 pan, and you can make bar cookies out of it too. I do that sometimes. I'm just kind of one of those, I'm in a hurry, I just want a cookie, and I put it all into a pan. A cast iron skillet's fun too, and then you can serve it with, if you do like individual cast iron skillets, you can serve it with vanilla ice cream, warm cookie with vanilla ice cream, or fat-free yogurt, frozen yogurt, you could do any of those. Okay, so you can see that I preheated my oven to 325 degrees. It's a lower temperature because these cookies are going to bake a little bit longer than your traditional cookie. And you can see here, they're all uniform and pretty. And then we're gonna bake them at 325 for 10 to 12 minutes. You're just looking for it to start to turn a little golden brown on the edges, and then take them out of the oven, let them cool, and they're delicious. So let's put them in the oven. All right, welcome back, and the cookies are done. So excited. the oven, but I'm gonna still put them on a plate because we're gonna make it work. You can see here that they're just kind of starting to turn golden brown. That's what you're looking for. They look nice and crispy on the outside, still gooey in the middle, and they've spread out a little bit. I'm still putting some in the oven. I meant to say earlier, you're probably like, what is on that sheet? This is a Silpat. You can Google that, you can buy it on Amazon. It's just a silicone baking mat, so you can purchase it there and basically nothing will stick to it. It's pretty cool. One of my favorite tools in the kitchen. Cookie time. All right, so now with these cookies, they're literally so good. I will be giving them to my neighbor too. But again, play around with them. Whole wheat flour, simple ingredients. You don't have to have butter in your house, which is a key for me right now because sometimes I just don't have butter in the house. So you can use any oil that's neutral and change it up, play around with it. This is a recipe, like I said, and showed you with the egg too. Like you can just play around with it. It's really a no-fail cookie recipe and I highly recommend you try it. So enjoy, cheers.